Okay, it's time for another edition of Here's What's Happening, and we're glad to be joined in the studios by Paul DeBort, District Conservationist for Foster County for NRCS. Paul, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Greg. Thanks for having us.
You bet. Thanks for coming out. We appreciate it.
You bet.
And also Dion Schaff, District Manager for the NRC or Foster County Soil Conservation District. Thanks, Dion, for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Greg. Good morning.
And how's your morning going so far?
So far, so good.
Well, that's good. All right, Paul, we're going to start things off with you this morning. You're talking about some fall seeded cover crops, correct?
Yeah, this is something that, we've had a lot of success with in Griggs County, where I've obviously working as well and spent most of my career so far. And one of the big things behind this, Greg, is, after the barley comes off, which we're, seeing a lot of now, those fields, they stay fallow basically for the rest of the season. And we traditionally get enough precip in the fall to where our soils end up becoming full again. And so when we come into spring, then we end up having a full cup, so to speak. So one of the things that we always end up fighting in the spring is excess saturation, and then we get the spring rains and things just start to pond and flood, and end up having these situations where we don't get crop seeded and we fight salinity issues. So one of the big things that we've promoted and helped push over the years has been to fall seed these cover crops. It's kind of a different mix. It's not something that people are maybe always traditionally looking at, but it's something that we've seen work very well in those types of areas. You're dealing with, again, a lot of times salinity affected soils or saline affected soils. You're dealing with excess saturation, and so you kind of have to look at your species and your time frame and be pretty selective. We've narrowed down a mix that doesn't end up costing a lot, and it's not a big mess come the next year. It breaks down relatively well over winter. And that's as simple as that you seed it, let it break down due to frost kill, and let it do its thing as far as using up some of that fall moisture that we, like I said, traditionally get.
Okay.
Yep.
And it's something that you probably see more and more now too, like it popping up in fields.
Yeah, definitely. Again, we've always just left the fields fallow. Maybe go out and chisel plow, or go with the new, like the coulters of whatever variety you choose, and it just ends up compounding the situation. We never end up using that moisture that we get. And nature has a funny way of covering herself, and whether it's weeds or whether it's volunteer crop, you're gonna see something come back. Mm-hmm. And so if you can put a cover crop mix out there that's gonna compete with weeds, again, use up moisture, that's gonna just make the ground so much better for the next year. A popular place that we've seen huge, dramatically change soils from one year to the next is in like prevented plant areas. I've seen literally 5 feet difference, like 90-degree angles of where the drill was and where it wasn't from the year before where it seeded the cover crop. One year it was the prevented plant, and the next year they were able to seed it. And it's, again, you could walk to the corner of where it was seeded and where it wasn't. So, if we can get those acres back and get them into production again, that's some of the best ground that we deal with, when it does grow a crop. So, So it's important.
Hopefully it's you have to have it kind of somewhat dry too in the fall to plant it then, right?
Exactly. Yep, exactly. Yeah. And so now we're kind of dry here in the last few weeks, or a week, I guess. So it's a good time to at least be thinking about that. Okay. And I know a lot of the local elevators and places can order the seed. It's not not an issue to find it. If they have questions as far as the mix, they can give us a call at the office. We have, just the standard mixes, but some folks even also look at this as a grazing opportunity, bringing the cows off a pasture a little earlier, and then they'll graze that. And that's a tremendous benefit to rest those pastures in the fall and let them establish their solar panels, so to speak, in their leaves to be able to start, the process the next spring sooner. Yep.
Okay, sounds good. We're talking with Paul DeBort this morning. Anything else, Paul?
No, that's about it. Just like I said, if people have questions or want to know more about the cover crops and just the specific mixes, by all means, just call us at the office and be happy to help them out.
Okay, sounds good. Dion, you're talking about some tree programs. We got some deadlines approaching, right?
Yes, we do. There are two programs out there that I'd really like to talk about. First of all, the North Dakota SCDs have that grant through the Outdoor Heritage Fund. The original deadline on applications for that was actually today, but they've given us a slight extension. I still have a couple days yet through next week. But those applications do need to include a tree planting plan. It needs to meet specs, be appropriate for the soils. So try not to come in at the very last minute, or we might not get you in. So please, if you're interested in that, contact me as soon as possible. The other one, the North Dakota Forest Service now has that windbreak renovation program. That would include part of the cost of actually removing the old trees. So that's something new, and that's going to be something a lot of people are probably going to want to look at. But that one is done online. Grab a pencil. I'll give you the website in a minute, folks. But there's a website, the North Dakota State Forest Service website. You go to that, and right there in the middle of the page it says renovation program. And the first thing you need to do is click the link and do the windbreak renovation questionnaire. And they would like people to do that questionnaire, I guess, by August 15th. The rest of the application process can take place after that, but the first thing they want you to do is that questionnaire. And the website is www.ag.ndsu.edu/NDFS, North Dakota Forest Service. I'll say that once more, www.ag.ndsu.edu/NDFS. So please, if you're interested in the renovation program, they let you have 2 years. The first year's for the renovation, second year for the planting, but you need to get that questionnaire done.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Dion. Anything else this morning at all?
Just if they have problems with that website, or as well, even if they can't get access, they can come into our office. We'll try to help them out. We can even let them use our computer if they need to.
Oh, yeah. Paul, did you have something else?
No, I just like to know what you did with the summer, Greg. It seems like it just blinked by.
Oh, it's his fault, huh?
Yeah, it's like
Greg.
Yeah, it's like where did July go? We're already almost approaching mid-August now.
Unreal.
What's your guys' number, contact information, in case somebody's got any questions?
652-2551, extension 3.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Thanks, guys, so much. We appreciate it when you stop in, and we'll talk with you next month. It'll be the second Wednesday of September,
Yes,
right?
the second Wednesday. We're going to be doing EcoEd the first Wednesday. So.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Well, thanks, you guys. We're
Thanks,
talking.
Greg.
You bet. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
We were talking this morning with Paul DeBort, District Conservationist for Foster County for NRCS, and also Dion Schaff, District Manager for the Foster County Soil Conservation District. And that concludes another edition of Here's What's Happening on KDAK. We'll take a break, and we'll be back with the birthday report next.
Summer in North Dakota often means severe weather. Here's a severe weather tip to help you be prepared for anything that Mother Nature